Final race on a big dual Group 1 day at Sha Tin on Sunday is the Beat the Clock handicap. It's over the 1400 metres and Circuit Stella's had the 3 starts. He's back to the 1400 metres this week. Pegasus Hero, a Brazilian now with Mi Choi. He's had the 3 trials. Hall of Champ. You thought you saw him this week. You did. He raced at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. He's a beauty. He's up £4 for that win at 78-1 last time. Navas 2's looking for a hat trick. He is carrying an extra £6 for the second of the victories. Prime Minister carries an extra 4 for his win over Nothing New last time. We've got Dragon Fortune, who's been back to the trials. Kazi Farazi's a 5-time course and distance winner. And Starbright Tom goes from the 12 to the 1400 metres and actually holds a Derby nomination, as does Navas 2.
They certainly do, and not a lot of pace again in this final race, so it could be dominated by those on speed here. Beauty Champ was one of those on-speed runners last start, but capitulated in the straight. He was quite disappointing for a 7.5 chance, Beauty Champ. Dragon Fortune, they might roll the dice with him out of barrier 13 and head forward. He has raced handy and in the lead in the past. Hall of Champ on the backup. He was handy at Happy Valley the other night. Circuit Mighty should get a similar passage to what he received last start. Looks a little tricky for old Kazi Farazi, and Nothing New. They're drawn out in gates 11 and 12.
We start with the top weight, Nick. This was over the 1200 metres last time, Circuit Stella. Now, he did fail over the 1400 first up in Hong Kong. Was a winner at the trip in Cork prior to arriving.
Yeah, and I think the fact he has obviously got experience over the distance and good form certainly will stand him in good stead. But his last 2 runs have been very good, both in races won by Lucky With You. So, they're decent races, strong form lines, and he has drawn a gate, Tom, to gain a nice position in the run.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think he's a big player here as Circuit Stella. Drawn gate number 1, stayed on well enough there over the final with stages. Lucky With You, of course, has been beaten, but he's a major chance in this final race.
He's a beauty, Tom. He couldn't do it again, could he? He just ended up in the right part of the track, didn't he?
Well, the blinkers went on him last start. He was held up a little bit in the early part of the straight. Here you can see him looking for some room. Absolutely swinging off him on this occasion was Antoine Hamlin, and delivered here at near enough to 80-1, Nick. Whether he can do 2 in a row, I'm not sure, but the blinkers, I think, certainly did help him.
They certainly did. Look, it was a good ride from Antoine. He's had to sort of get physical with him in the closing stages, but look, he's kept him going, and he's run a lovely race there to go and win. As you say, can he do it again? Jury's out a little bit, I think, given that he won at such massive odds. As for the 3 that were behind him, Kazi Farazi, Classic Posh and Beauty Champ, I'm struggling to make a case for them.
He's a 4-time winner now. He's a beauty, so it wasn't like it was his first one. Now, what price is he early? 24 and 5.5, so even under half than what he was. Navas 2, Nick, absolutely flying. Rolled packing victory at big odds 2 starts ago and backed it up.
He certainly did, yeah, and beating Oscar Glory, as we're taking a look at now. Look, he's very progressive, isn't he, this fellow? He's got a nomination for the BMW Hong Kong Derby as well, so clearly very well thought of. And, well, his recent racing, Tom, is very good. £6 more to carry, but he's got the form in the book.
He was able to run them down over the final stages. He's beaten Oscar Glory here, who hasn't exactly been prolific when it comes to winning here in Hong Kong. So that might be the little question mark, but you can't argue with what he's been able to do, and that's 2 wins so far.
And finally, Tom, Prime Minister, last start win from barrier 14. He draws the same gate again.
Yeah, so not going to get any easier, but he made it look pretty easy last start to Prime Minister. His final 400 was in 23.19, so it was a little on the slowish side, but he's been able to pick them up and put them away quite handsomely here. In the end, has Prime Minister. Nothing New. He's come with another wide run, and Nick is drawn wide again. And Beauty Champ thought he was okay this time round, but he was quite disappointing a couple of runs, or last start was Beauty Champ.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. I think the run of the race, possibly, obviously, outside of the winner, who's obviously very good, was Nothing New. I mean, I know he's yet to win in 14, but it was a good run. He's gone with the winner, and, he's only just been nosed out of it. So perhaps on these revised terms, he could turn that form around.
Who do you like to win the last, Tom?
Last race towards the bottom here, I'm looking at some value around about 16 or 17-1 at the moment is Circuit Mighty for Manfred Mann and Keith Young. I think with the pace in the race, like last start, he's drawn to get a pretty good run through and was only 3 lengths away from All Beauty. Went off at 83-1, but didn't run like an 83-1 shot. So 14 on top, ahead of Circuit Stella, number 1, 6 Navas 2, and Starbright, he's run some handy races in both of his 2 starts to date. So 14-1, 6 and 13.
Yeah, I've gone with Tom's fourth selection on top here, actually, Star Bright. I think he's not a bad chance at odds, and his last run was not the worst. He found a bit of traffic up the straight, not the clearest of passages, and Karis Teeden rides him. He's got a nice light weight, and he did win a 1,300-metre race at Scone in Australia, so I don't think the trip's going to be an issue. Navas too, you've got to put him in. He's obviously racing in red-hot form. Nothing new out of that piece of footage we saw a few moments ago. He's in good form, and Circuit Stella, the top one, goes back to 14, but I think he's well drawn enough to run another nice race. 13, 6, 12 and 1 for me.
And that is the preview for race number 10. Both boys risking the early favourite. Navas 2's come up 2 to 1 to make it 3 in a row to wrap up a dual Group 1 day. Sha Tin Sunday.